Hexing the technical interview. I'm going to turn off alerts now. Here we go. Camera, throb me, camera, throb me. Long ago on Svalbard, when you were a young witch of 43, your mother took your unscarred wrists in her hands and spoke, Vidrun, born of the sea wind through the spruce. Vidrun, a green-tinged offshoot of my bough, joy of my burden of life. Vidrun, fierce and clever, may your clan's wisdom be yours. Never read Hacker News. This is great advice. Okay? This is great advice. This is why I make these YouTube videos, is we take the 98% shit rating and you guys get out not shit. Okay? It's a hard job, but somebody has to do with it. Okay? Somebody has to do this. But Hacker News has read of you in their snicker slithing serential warrens. I can't say all these words together. And word has spread, which is why the young man offering you a smorgasbord of micro kitchen delights looks mildly suspicious already. What was it? What was the thing with Google? A micro kitchen must be within how many feet of any engineer at any time? Did you hear this? There's actually they designed their campus around the smallest distance on average from any one engineer to micro kitchen. Google truly is adult playground. It is truly adult daycare. We must not have these engineers get up and move, okay? We cannot move our body. Give them nap pods for when they get tired and cranky, and give them code, and give them food. Soon as possible. That's it. He whisks you into a glass shoebox on a conference room, which somehow manages to be claustrophobic despite the open sight lines. You make a mental note to avoid this conference room in the future, but reassure the room is nothing. Reassure the room. It's nothing personal. I have never reassured a room anything. So my name is Tim, and I'll be your first interviewer today. Tim is making every effort to be cheery. His ears stick out a bit. Poor Tim. You know, why do you think I wear headphones, okay? You don't want to see me catching air with these Dumbo ears. And in his dark brown hoodie and cream t-shirt perched expectantly on the table, he resembles something of a pine marten. You like pine martens, and therefore Tim as well. Okay, before we get started, is there anything I can tell you about the company? By the way, this is cue for you to not be a dummy, right? I want you to know this. When someone says this phrase, if you are interviewing at a place and you're like, no. If there's an easier way to get up to bat, have a bat be put on a t-ball thing, and then get handed a tennis racket, and all you have to do is hit the t-ball, and somehow you miss. This is the time that you miss, okay? It's ridiculous. Don't be that person. You would like to ask what kind of call Tim would make were he guarding his cache of eggs and nuts against other marten, but instead you giggle to yourself, lean your sprig of cloud pine against the corner, and then settle comfortably to the floor. Tim leans in to get a clearer view of where you've gone. Definitely, you think to yourself. So, perhaps you could tell me a bit about your background. He hasn't read your resume. No man can. This is fair. This is actually fair. In the winter, you begin. Above the ice-locked fjords lies a creek, ash white with the ghosts of glaciers. You know what? He interrupts. It was a beautiful story, but perhaps you can tell it later. How about we do a little programming together? Just the basic exercises so I can get a sense of how you think. That sounds nice, Tim. Okay, great. Tim seems reassured to be back on track. So let's open up an editor. Would you like to have a seat? Come. You pat the ground next to him. It is safer this way. Tim stares at the parenthesis of salt with disbeliefs, shakes his head, and reluctantly sits by your side. Tim retells an old riddle, though he does not know its origins and has the words wrong. A group of travelers are lost in the woods upon the winding mountain path and worry that they have been traveling in circles. They must know, does their path lead to freedom or constrain themselves to wander forever in the wilderness? What a lovely story. You know, nothing makes me happier than when they add a really stupid story to a word problem. How about you just tell me the problem? You know, like, I'm not a kid, you're an adult. Let's be adults, you know? When I have a problem with somebody, Unless if this is some sort of like Prophet Nathan story to Daniel or David. I am not telling a story, right? This is not a gotcha. A tradition sets down the group that must split. Let's see. A tradition sets down that the group must split. The fastest runner goes on ahead, and while the rest continue slowly. If the runner catches them, the trail must loop back on itself. This is a singly linked list. Does a singly linked list contain a loop? So we should start with a linked list. You smile reassuringly. Yes, Tim says, but just a regular linked list, please. I know you're up on, well, functional programming, but we're a more pragmatic shop here, building real software. We want something practical. This is also why TJ will probably never finish the Prime React site. He did choose OCaml. It's unlikely to be actually ever achieving production at any one point, but TJ swears it's going to happen. Please move. Please move your communism versus capitalism discussion of privately owned DMs by the U.S. government. Thank you for that incredible, insightful comment, TJ. A perspicacious comment, one would say. The perspicacity of TJ knows no end. I tell you what. Yes, of course, you assent. Practical, got it. One of your spiders, you can't tell which is picking up its way carefully. Oh my goodness, is picking its way up carefully. Shoot, I cannot read that sentence. One of your spiders, Flip, take this out. I don't want to sound like an idiot, Flip, okay? Don't do some ha-ha editing where you make me look like a jackass just so that you can laugh about it. You and everybody else but me, and I'm the dummy. One of your spiders, you can't tell which, is picking its way carefully up Tim's hoodie, and you scoop it up before typing. Oh gosh, this is Lisp. No, this is Clojure. Is this Clojure? Are we looking at Clojure? Is someone just tossing out a bit of Clojure? I think if you use Clojure in an interview, you are either interviewing at a place that exclusively writes Clojure, or you're a bad person. There's only two potential options here, okay? You're a bad person. That's probably the likelihood because nobody actually writes Clojure other than Uncle Bob. Let's see. Well, we're not doing IO here. It's just an in-memory list. Agree politely, but delete nothing. Power play. You gotta power play this. You got to power play the move. Never apologize for who you are. That's right. You just get straight into this. A simple mutable linked list. Def type mutable linked list value next. Clojure lang squealable sec lazy sec constructor value sequence next. Okay, yeah, classic. I mean, they say Clojure is really simple. You know, I think one of my problems about functional programming is that I don't think you can read it left to right. Something about this tells me that you can't really read this left to right because you're building an internal stack for what's actually happening. Def node, mutable list value, Adam nil, link bang me daddy, next node, reset with another bang, this, okay, I don't even know what this means. Honestly, I genuinely have no idea what's happening with Clojure. That's not what I was expecting, Tim says. No, it's good, straightforward and simple. I was just, they said on the internet that you were, he trails off, looks to you apologetically. If I could, I hope one day that I can interview and they say on the internet, you are, and I can just love it. I can bask in it because then I get to determine which echo chamber are they in. Smile disarmingly and shake your wrist free of your wool shift. Then clap your hands, place them firmly upon the desk, and open a portal to the Underwood. Gen class. I don't even know what any of this means. This seems great. I'm sorry, Tim comments over your shoulder. I'm not really a Clojure expert. What's this for? Just boilerplate. Don't worry about it. Tim appears, if anything, more worried now. We do this all the time. Okay, and then a bunch more shit. Thank you. Just imagine somebody pulling this out. Just imagine. I don't know how many people interview in chat. Press 1 in the chat if you actually run interviews. Okay, we got some people that run interviews. We got some. Have you ever had someone do something like this? I've had it once, where it's just like, hey, let's compare a binary tree. And all of a sudden, you got like I mean, we're talking about constructor functions, and it's just like the person's really going deep on everything but the problem, like enterprise solution, possibly even doing TDD on the whiteboard, and you're just trying to figure out where the hell this interview went wrong. But at the same time, you gotta let bro cook, right? You gotta let bro cook. You can't just stop a bit of cooking, you know? And even if you toss out, maybe we don't need tests for this. And what do they do? What do they do? You know what they do. Agree politely, but delete nothing. Never apologize for who you are. This is... Clojure is a dynamic language, you explain helpfully. So when we call back and forth with Java classes, there's usually some reflection going on. It looks like you built a class loader specifically to return a single byte array for a particular class. Is that normal? Yes. You insist. Flashing dangerously. I put the S from eyes here and didn't say it right there. What is wrong with my brain? Why can't you just write the algorithm in Clojure? Performance, you explain. Wholly earnest. Since circle checking is going to be a tight inner loop, we don't want to write it in such a high-level language. Let's go. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, Tim Stutter. So you're going to write the cycle detector in Java then and call it from Clojure? Something like that. Oh, baby, hitting him with the old, hit him with the old baby. The cafe babe. Get him with that cafe babe right there. What are these? Magic numbers. You are, after all, a witch. Every class begins with a babe in a cafe. What? A beautiful man. The kind like from the movies, relaxing in the afternoon by the promenade. He has a cafe. I don't know what that is. And his orange glasses gleam in the sun. And perhaps some other nice men are jogging by. If they are lucky, perhaps he will lock eyes with one of the joggers, and they will smile and find a brick-lined alleyway together. What? His lips pressed upon the other. What the hell am I reading? And he feels the heat of the sun infused in their... Excuse me? What the fuck just happened there? If you were to be honest, you've never understood Sun's rationale for the story, or why the Java virtual machine specification, normally so prosaic, lapses into lustful rhapsody for so many stanzas in section 4.1. We're using version 49 because it doesn't require stack maps, which keeps things simple. Now we need the number of constants. Remember the future. Never forget that, people. Never forget this. Dude, I don't know what I'm reading at this point. What have you guys done to me? This is a common trick for protocol wizards, many of whom live as Merlin did, writing constants and buffer sizes before, after having unwritten the buffers themselves. Recall that 22 sufficed then. Write that down. Classic. I am sorry, Tim Blinks, but isn't 17 decimal 23 not 22? Again? You recite, sing song. Till Javasen? Beg your pardon? I don't know how to do this. The Javanese. Surely you have heard of him. He is a small magical man, something like a gnome who inhabits every JVM. If you do not set out an extra constant for him, he can cause seg faults. But keep the Javanese happy, and your mutices will be fair. Is this real? Is this real Java? Is there actually a gnome that you need to have some sort of constant in a specific place or it shits the bed? This is not ChatGPT. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT what it has to say. The passage you presented appears to be a fictional or humorous representation of the JVM development practices. It combines technical terms with whimsical elements to tell. Okay, stack maps. Okay, don't care. The number representation. This is hexadecimal representation, which is indeed 23, not 22. Is a fictional, playful construct. There is no Javasins in the JVM lore or in specification. It seems to be a whimsical addition, perhaps a drawing from European legends about house elves or other creatures. I don't even want to read. What am I doing here? Who am I? It is a story from your childhood. You remember your mother chanting offsets as she stirred the stew. To biter for a buffinen, Evanson, Okay, I can't read that. It is a happy memory, and you lose yourself in it until Tim clears his throat. Ah, yes, constants. We'll need our superclass. Object, of course. Ordinarily, I'd use existing class to save weight, but we're only dealing with interfaces here, so object it is. And a class for ourself, I suppose. Are you just writing? Oh, we're just writing this in bytes? Okay. You're just writing this in jar code? Oh, is this what a jar is made out of? Oh, is this the constant that some jar needs? By the way, I worked in embedded systems, and is this just JVM bytecode? Is that all we're seeing here? I've worked in some embedded systems for a while, and I cannot tell you how many times you'd see a comment next to just some hexadecimal number where the number is just genuinely wrong. Like, it is genuinely incorrect. And you're just like, what do I do with this number? How do I deal with it? Because it's not what it's supposed to be. It can be very emotionally draining because then you have to go to the actual text spec manual. Okay, so it looks like we're just raw dogging some bytecode or something. And with the iterator, we'll need the has next and next. The bytes are coming in faster now, so this is much better than the old West Norse hexography, where both odd and even digits share the same rune. Cool. Okay, there we go. Tim has gone silent. Now, you'd think, you mutter, that the code would be a common thing to put in a class and therefore might have dedicated byte tag. But instead, we have to put the word code in every class and use it to identify code attributes. I'm glad that this is just a retelling of how the JVM might do things. Finally, our signature. It is an iterable and returns a boolean. Beautiful. Beautiful. 22. The UTF string of 23 bytes. Why does it have to do this? Boolean. Every young witch in your clan is required to memorize these bytes. Such pride you felt when you first incanted a class without training wheels of Java C. Our method begins. Yeah, forget Java C. Flags, 21 means code, let's go. Method names start with lowercase letters, Tim asserts. His voice rises like a question. Only by convention. Almost any string will do, and we already have this one in the constant pool. Well done. Well done. Reusing things. Maximum stack, okay. Number of local variables, let's go. Wait, hold on. Tim has seized upon a piece of a flotsam in the storm. Only 4 variable slots? 4 arguments plus locals? Og 2 till Javison, you remind him. He sputters while you try to remember how many instructions you have written. Size of bytecode. You know your size of bytecode beforehand. Okay, well done. Your method begins with creating a pair of iterators for from a single iterable argument. Okay, that I'm just gonna say that sounds good to me. I just happen to don't know. I don't know bytecode of JVM. Okay, so I don't know that. I'm sorry, I don't know these things off the top of my head. Did you Did you mean A store 2? Tim asked, trying to be helpful. Variable 0 holds our first argument, right? It did. You agree, but we won't be needing it again. But those aren't even the same type. That's illegal. If it were meant to be illegal, you remind him sagely, Sun Microsystems would have made it unrepresentable. It's true. It's true. It's by all accounts true here. This is Elden Java Ring. This is. One will be a fast iterator. Her name is Jorun, and her legs are strong from years of skiing. She flies forward with powerful strokes. Thank you. Thank you for all of this. Ensure fat. Okay, beautiful. I honestly wish this could happen in an interview. If someone could do this for me and make a static Hermes TypeScript compiled code by hand, hire them instantly. Bjorn in Register 0 is fat and lazy. He ambles along like his namesake. Damn, calling out a bear like that. Jarun, not to be outdone, takes another stride. Her footing sure. Beautiful. With their positions on the path at hand, you check to see if they have run into another, and if not, repeat process again. Okay, beautiful. Look at that. We're gonna do a little offset jump. Beautiful. You're 60 bytes exhausted. You sigh contentedly, and inscribe the sealing runes upon your spell before coercing each number into a single crooked byte. Tim has been gently trying to steer the interview back on track. Bless him, but not too well. Or he'll follow you around on Twitter for years to come, asking for spells to soothe every computational malady that befalls him. Perhaps a ward against minor file system corruption would do. Malady? What is that? Like, You know, I mean, this is awesome. I love that we have a linked list, and you're doing the whole. You're like, you're writing this all, but what is the purpose of this? What are we doing? I don't know what any of this means. I don't write Clojure. What am I doing with Clojure? It rhymes with chaos. You informed him helpfully. Nonplussed. He asked about unit tests. You weave a story of a path in the woods, which loops upon itself in preparation. Beautiful cycle test. Before casting the spell, you invoke 4 cardinal directions as scars around your wrist. H, J, K, and L. Let's go. That's the direction we need. Only the J wind answers your kind, but it never hurts to be polite. Ran 1 test containing 3 assertions, 0 failures, 0 errors. 356 bytes, you declaim, and stretch in satisfaction. Java C would have produced roughly 580. We have saved a lot by omitting the stack map and line mappings, of course, but we have also cut the number of variables and cut the superfluous A store and A load ops as well. And of course, since this class is never instantiated, we don't need the generate and init method or a call super. Tim stares at you in mute concern. His hoodie gleams with quick melting frost. Perhaps you have been hired. Reach into your pocket of your shift and gently, with slow movements, so as not to startle him and send him scurrying back into his burrow. Extend your hand, open your fingers, and offer him a walnut. Is this genius or insanity? I have not the skills to distinguish. Charut! Charut! Come on! Come on, people! This was beautiful.